We've got an amazing panel, Bitcoin mining in 2050. So just to provide some context, Bitcoin miners are actually fantastic at innovating. We're going to run through the past, the present, and the future of Bitcoin mining, and looking at whether or not Bitcoin mining is actually inevitable. So would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Kevin Zhang. I'm the SVP of Business Development at Foundry Digital. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of DCG Group. It's my first time in Amsterdam. Still lucky to be here. Thank you all for having me. So our firm, we're best known for running our Foundry USA pool, which at present time is one of the largest pools in the world. Most people don't know that we actually also do a lot of our own self-mining as well, and we offer a whole suite of services to make mining easier for our institutional customers.
Francesca Failoni. I'm co-founder and CFO of Alps Blockchain. We are a mining company. We have operations in Europe, in Middle East, in South America, and now in the US. And so our aim is to continue our self-mining activity and optimize it as soon as possible.
Yeah, so my name is Wright from MicroBT. Actually, I think everyone know, what's miner. Actually, this is not a question right now. This is a brand. So if you have anything like to know from us, just reach us. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe we'll start with you, Wright. Can you provide some context on the history of mining, so then we can look at what's currently happening in the future?
Yeah. Actually, I joined MicroBT in 2018. Actually, I come from the traditional high-tech industry. I was a chip designer before I joined MicroBT. So I know, how hard to introduce the maybe advanced technology into specific areas. And I think it's very surprised and maybe leave a deep imagine to me. The only word I want to comment on the Bitcoin industry is faster. Actually, only 10 years right now, the chip of the Bitcoin uses the most advanced technology node. Currently we just can maybe proud to say that everyone just, if you do not have chance to acquire the maybe high-end technical node, you do not have a chance or qualified to play these games again. And by the way, also, we just help the social and help anyone to just adopt such kind of renewable energy, and also maybe solve the problems for the such kind of power consumption and ESG. So I think everything leave maybe deep images for me, but I think this is just a start point. So we believe the Bitcoin industry would be better in the future.
Francesca.
I come to this sector in 2018, so I'm seeing several years of history of mining. And what I saw is like the efficiency of the miners is changing a lot, and it is making this world more industrial than it was when we started, and everything has changed a lot. And I think it's also good because we are seeing people that are making professional mining, industrial mining, an important activity and an important economic activity. And also we are seeing mining as something important to develop. We are seeing a lot of listed company. We are seeing mining as a partner for energy infrastructure, and this is really important right now because we are speaking about energy transition, and mining can be really a good synergy with that. And so I think mining right now is an industrial activity who can be a synergy with energy transition.
Yeah, so a little bit about my own background. I got into mining at the very end of 2013. This was when China banned Bitcoin for the first time. The industry's obviously shifted a lot over the years. We've talked about how there's a lot of centralization now, with only a few actors when it comes to manufacturers. Over time, the industry has shifted back and forth between West and East. When the China bans first came out way back in the day, ironically, it was the Western manufacturers of ASICs that actually went out of business first. They had a very tough time competing with the low cost of manufacturing from the likes of companies over in China, and in particular, manufacturing in Shenzhen. That's why today you see only a few players out there, and they're typically out of China. You have the Bitmains, the MicroBTs, the Canons of the world. But talking about present day, you also saw a great migration of hash rate. Despite the units being manufactured over in the East and over in Southeast Asia or China, you now have a lot of the dominance of the hash rate itself, the infrastructure and the operators, like Francesca and others. We're now operating in North America, in Europe, South America, and other parts of the world. And it's be interesting to see how kind of this proliferates and continues to centralize and migrates as policies change, as costs change, moving forward as well.
That leads on beautifully actually to my next question, which is how will hash rate migration impact decentralization?
Yeah, so when it comes to Bitcoin mining and the Bitcoin ecosystem, I think it's pretty cool that we have so many different players and actors here in the room. We have the audience, which are mostly users of the Bitcoin network. You have the manufacturers of the equipment. You have the operators and infrastructure builders. And then you have players like ourselves, where we operate the mining pool at the software layer. And we have a very clear visibility of a lot of the activity, especially with IP addresses, where people connect their miners from, where transactions are being sent from and to. What we've seen, like I was kind of alluding to before, especially with the ban of, it wasn't actually an official ban, it was strong guidance and advice from the higher levels of CCP that they did not like mining happening within mainland China. And when that happened in the summer of 2021, a lot of the hash rate immediately migrated over to the West. Some of it went to Kazakhstan, some of it went to other parts, but in particular it went to North America and in the US. And that's why right now US is such a strong foothold. We see hash rates, about 50, 60% of all global hash rate is domiciled right now in North America and the US. And what that's really done is it's shifted it towards a much more institutional adoption. Miners right now are leveraging capital markets. Some of the biggest miners in the world that you see are now publicly listed, right? And as you move forward, you see there's been a lot of consolidation over the summer, miners merging together, miners teaming up. Some of it is out of survival, some of it is out of just getting ahead of as mining economics get tougher and tougher. Moving forward, you also see newer regions that are developing their mining capabilities and infrastructure. There's been a lot of talk about South America over the years, and now you also have Africa and the Middle East kind of stepping up on their mining capabilities as well.
Francesca?
What I'm seeing is that with this process of making mining more industrial, it happens that there are less companies doing the mining activity in a professional way. And for this reason, there is less decentralization in the mining activity. But what is happening is also that energy is the key for the mining activity, and so these big mining companies are searching energy all over the world, and so we are having a decentralization of energy sources and mining farm in this way, because we are creating infrastructure all over the world because of energy sources and because of specific projects that can be found to make mining really a synergy with energy transition and energy sources. And for this reason, what I'm seeing is that the big mining companies are creating mining farms they started from US, but right now there is Africa, there is the Middle East, there is the South America, who is developing a lot the mining activity because of certain conditions we can find in these specific countries. And so we are having decentralization in a different way than before, but we are having it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I also agree. Decentralized is much important and healthy for the Bitcoin network. So technically, I think it's much easier for manufacturers just set up mining systems. Only we need the energy, and only we need the maybe miners. But the reason is how we can just maybe achieve the decentralized from the technical side. And I believe, yeah, right now, maybe just as Kevin and we just say energy is the key. So we always think about how to just find maybe such kind of renewable energies to both in the maybe minings and help anyone easy to set up such kind of mining systems. So right now, our company also just introduced solar minings and such kind of replacement maybe systems. This is what we see that we are healthy for the maybe energy suppliers and also healthy for the whole network. By the way, I think also we noticed that currently the mining is just from the institute. I mean, just maybe centered from the capitals. And we also think about to deliver some 2C product. Actually, I think if you just leave home and you want to just maybe use the mining as a heater, it's also a good idea for you just to participate this kind of minings. So we have all kind of ways to help our maybe anyone who want to just maybe booming or decentralized for this Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, and energy is key. And finally, we've been able to connect energy back to money. So that's good. So how will AI impact the growth of Bitcoin mining? Would you like to take that one?
Yeah, I think from our eyes, it's the same things. Actually, you need to power and you need some servers. You just do the calculations based on the same systems. So right now, we believe, maybe some big giant, I think, also noticed that even you want to just adopt AI applications, the performance of the overloading is diversity. So it means you need some other applications as a complementary, maybe solutions for you to maintain the power consumptions and make the whole systems healthy. So right now, I think the AI maybe is also a good, maybe a technology support the Bitcoin minings together. We will see in the future such kind of mixed facilities would be happened faster in the future. Yeah.
Perfect.
So looking at this industry, we can see that many mining companies are starting working also in the AI sector. And probably is that because it's a kind of good synergy and good diversification. So both these activities require energy sources, and AI has more capex per megawatt, and so mining can be a good way to have good energy because you have good volumes on energy, and so you can have good contracts with the energy and then use these good contracts to develop AI data centers. Anyway, we have to consider that it's a completely different business, and so the know-how you need to know to develop an AI data center is different than a mining farm. But I think they can be a good synergy, and also we see from the hardware sector, I think they can agree. So we are thinking about developing a data center that can be both for mining and AI, and hardware companies are making hardware for that. So I think there is a transition to AI data center with Bitcoin mining, and this can be a good synergy for the future. Also, AI can be a good way to optimize our data center because we can use AI for the curves of production. We can use AI for the energy grid to try to make provisions on how it's going and make mining according to that. So it can be good for curtailment for the grid and also to optimize mining operation from a software perspective.
Yeah, so I recently learned a new term. It's called mullet mining. It's AI in the front and Bitcoin mining in the back. So especially with all these institutional investors, I think they like touting whatever is the new hottest narrative because they have public shareholders and they have a board to answer to. But jokes aside, I think what's really unique about Bitcoin miners is as much as a Bitcoiner myself, as much as I would love Bitcoin miners to be Bitcoiner or Bitcoin maximalists first, miners are actually profit maximalists first. And I think that's actually very much in the ethos of Bitcoin, which is you're backing everything by economic incentives. And what I'm getting at with that is miners will always go for wherever there's revenue and profitability. And I think looking in the future, one of the ways that Bitcoin mining will integrate with other business lines is finding dual revenue streams, whether it's with sharing the power they use for AI. One of the issues with AI, if you can even convert your site over into AI, it uses a lot more bandwidth, right? You need also a lot of connectivity. But oftentimes you don't have hyperscalers that are using your facility all the time. So you have to use that power for something else. So no different than grid response, curtailment, or if you're doing heat recapture, miners have to figure out other ways to find income, especially when you're in a very tough bear cycle. Even though Bitcoin price is kind of near all-time highs, things are pretty frothy as far as dollars per Bitcoin. It's actually very rough for a Bitcoin miner out there. We just experienced the halving earlier this year, this past April. And mining revenue, if you look at it very crudely, essentially we're making 50% less revenue immediately after halving. Not only that, you now have all-time highs with hash rate. So that's another 30% whammy on however much money we're making. So that's why you see miners kind of looking to adopt other use cases. And as far as we talked about before about like bigger sites and smaller sites, you may have the mega sites that also scale into HPC, institutional data centers. But you also have possibly some use cases with microgrids where you're doing 5 to 10 megawatt or even 1 megawatt deployments where you're using hydro miners and recapturing that heat and either saving money on your energy costs or getting paid to generate heat. So I think that's also something interesting to look at moving forward too.
Yeah, so profit maximalization, absolutely. Yeah. So with that in mind, and with Bitcoin mining in 2050, what kind of strategies and innovations are Bitcoin miners going to have to adopt to stay relevant, right?
Yeah, let's just think about the history. We just start very faster, and we may also just think about that what will happen in the futures. I believe, the innovation would be the key to drive the list, maybe industries. Actually, if you cannot just bring the values to the investors, to the participants, you will lose the maybe naturally. So I think right now, just as maybe let's look back to the development of the chips. When our founder, Dr. Yang, introduced the full custom design methodology into this industry, we almost just maybe meet the more laws. Even we does not adopt the advanced technology. So in the future, I think the things should be the same. We may just try to develop new technology, and also we may just focus on how to bring values to the whole socials. Yeah.
Perfect. Francesca?
I think we can learn a lot of this post-halving period because it's like the most tough period for the mining activities. And so the mining companies that are kind of profitable right now are doing right. And what we are seeing is that miners' efficiency is the key right now. And we are seeing a lot of hydro data center to try to raise the efficiency. That's also what we are doing. And it's really a good key to be efficient and profitable also in these periods. For sure, energy and scale with energy is really important because it allows to optimize the operation in the data center. Then also the software and O&M part is important in a mining farm because you can have the best hardware, but you need to make it run properly and as much efficient as possible. And so I think that to make a successful mining operation, there are many factors that can make it work also for years. And so if I think about mining in 2050, for sure what we have to do right now is create properly operation with a good basis, and then try to optimize them in the future, and try to diversify them also with other things, like we are speaking about AI, we are speaking about reuse of it, we are speaking about curtailment. So these are ways to try to also enhance the revenues of the mining farm.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'll take a step back and just give some key points from how I'm seeing each of the different actors and players in the space strategizing today to survive, but also moving forward. So everyone already talked about AI and alluded to how manufacturers now are designing U3 form factor, which is the same as AI data centers and traditional center racking for Bitcoin miners. I think that's one way the manufacturers are integrating with strategy moving forward. From the operators, we talked about how they're finding dual revenue streams. Once they found that low, cheap cost, the other way to profit maximize is increased revenue, right? So whether it's AI, whether it's heat recapture, whether it's curtailment to turn off when power is very expensive on the grid, those are ways to increase your revenue as well. And on the software side, on the pools, it's a really brutal business. Our fees are very, very low. Generally, they're average way below 1%. So ways we're trying to stay relevant and competitive is we're looking at some of these new projects that are coming out. I think it's one thing that's unanswered with Bitcoin mining moving forward is the block subsidy, right? Where are the rewards going to come from? As there's continue to be more and more halvings, will the initial block rewards be enough? If not, should we boost transaction fees? Should there be more activity happening on chain? If not on chain, is this other activity that's happening off chain, or is it merge mining? All these things that can be brought back into Bitcoin. And whether you support these projects or not, if there's a market for these coins, we'll merge mine, we'll sell these coins and redistribute it back to the customers, etc. So there's all these different ways to figure out how to increase your profit once again.
So this whole discussion is about Bitcoin mining in 2050. So we're making a really big assumption that Bitcoin's going to be here in 2050. So the final question I would like to ask is Bitcoin inevitable, right?
Right now, just I see maybe Bitcoin just bring values for the socials. Yeah, so it's not a question for anyone just maybe support Bitcoins. Yeah, definitely in the futures, if we still just maybe can support maybe the social get better and get benefit from the innovations. It's much maybe healthy for the whole industries, and also maybe for the maybe investor and participants. So I believe in the futures it's no problems to say that the Bitcoin would still maybe the leading and maybe contribute its values to leading some technology improvement at the end.
That's a yes.
Yes.
Yes, Bitcoin is inevitable.
If it wasn't, we wouldn't be here, I think. So for sure, I see a good future for Bitcoin. I think it will depend by mass adoption, and these events and this conference are for sure a good way to start. It will depend on regulation. It will depend on big corporation, what they will be doing with that. And we are seeing, for example, in the US, that also politics is starting speaking about Bitcoin. So I think we are going through a mass adoption, and it will be used more than today. And so, yes, it's inevitable, I think.
Amazing.
Yeah, I agree with all the points. I think Bitcoin is inevitable. Like Francesca said, like we wouldn't be here if it isn't. But how Bitcoin's used and what its use case is, I think will shift as time changes. When I first started, it was peer-to-peer cash, right? It was used in exchange. Nowadays, it's advertised as digital gold. And it could be used for many different properties moving forward, right? But I think one thing we shouldn't take for granted is if people stop working on Bitcoin, if we don't continue with the mass adoption, it's not just going to thrive on its own. So it does require a lot of work. It does require a lot of innovation to kind of move the space forward as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's come to the end of our panel. Can I have a round of applause for Francesca and Kevin, please? Thank you.